What's up, guys? I'm Brad Ellingsworth. This is my YouTube channel, Coach E. It's devoted to all things football, especially being simple and playing fast. Guys, I'm going to break down guard trap today. Again, it's nothing new, right? Like this is one of the oldest run plays in the book. But I really, really believe in it. Uh, it is one of our staple runs, if not our most staple run. I really, really believe in this play. Uh, we're going to show it from a wing T perspective, a little bit of I formation, but it doesn't matter what offense you're running. This can be a staple inside run for you if you would like. Um, I thought about how I was going to lay this presentation out, but guys, I'm gonna quickly go over some blocking rules. We're just going to get right into breaking down a bunch of film. I do have a lot of variety of film that I'm going to show you. And the reason that I wanted to do that was because I wanted to show you the consistency of the play. I have film from 2 years ago where we had an all senior offensive line, very savvy. And then this past year where we overhauled all those guys with all underclassmen up front. And the play still remained consistent when executed. So I thought that was important. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get right into this thing. All right. So starting on the backside, we'll work from the backside all the way down to the play side. So the backside tackle has what I call a check block, meaning anytime that backside guard pulls, he is also going to pull to the near hip of the center. And his main priority here, it's not a slobber knocking block. He is just going to cut off any penetration, any three technique or 4-eye that's going to try to slant and get in that guard's hip pocket and run the play down from the backside. That is his priority. It's a very important block because, again, a lot of people will teach their guys to do that. The backside guard is going to trap the first man head up or outside the play side guard. This is our rules. We don't call long or short trap. Our kids call it. And I think this is really important because, the defensive front can change any play. If you're facing a good defensive front or a good defensive coordinator, they're going to try to change that defensive surface on you to try to get your kids as confused as possible. So if you give your kids rules to be able to fight whatever or combat whatever front that they have in front of them, I think is important. The center has post lead gap down nearest backer. Okay, that post lead for you non-wing T guys, man, that is just they got their double team on a head up zero or a play side shade. Okay, and then they're either gapping back or blocking down back away from the hole, or they're if none of that's available, they're going to find their nearest linebacker or second level defender. The play side guard, he has lead post, gap back, release inside to nearest a linebacker. So again, lead post, same deal there. His first deal there is a double team. Okay, if he's got again a zero tech on the center or a play side shade. If he doesn't have that, maybe it's just a 2-eye. He's going to gap back, or if you get a double A gap pressure, your center and your guard, there's no double team there. They're just going to both gap back. The play and the biggest thing though is if we can get the play side guard, play side tackle, tight end, wing back. If you look at their rules, we want to get those guys to the second level as quickly as possible. A couple things you're going to hear me harp on, right? Number one, you're going to hear me harp on our backside guards pull technique, right? We want to work inside out. When we rep this, we work it on a sideline, or excuse me, a yard line. Okay, so his first step, his shoulders are damn near going to still be squared to the line of scrimmage because he's going to work into the line of scrimmage and out. So we call it working inside out. And his head positioning there is incredibly important. So he needs to get his head inside that defender that he's trapping or upfield. If he does not do that, he is allowing that defender, if you got a really good defensive lineman there, he's going to allow that guy an opportunity to spill him or wrong shoulder him. And we want to combat that with our technique. So that's going to be huge. Another thing you're going to hear me harp on throughout this game film is that all the guys that are releasing to the second level need to follow on their path, collect that nearest defender on the second level, and they need to create what I call a wall of humanity. All right. And then the third thing that you're going to hear me harp on a ton, which I think is incredibly important to the success of this play, is that the fullback has no wasted steps and he stays right down the midline. His path needs to uh, replace the center, right? He needs to run right down the center's ass. Okay. Anybody running this play where your back or fullback or whatever you want to call that guy, okay, is taking a big winding step and coming back. I don't think you're going to be able to hit it as efficiently as you can, because if you're facing a really good defensive front, right, they're going to squeeze that run lane as tight as possible. So we have to be able to get into a run lane that's small. And in order to do that, we have to have no wasted steps and we have to run right down that midline, right? Because if that center's blocking back on a shade and your backside guard is pulling on a squeezing three technique, right? Your margin for error is going to be very slim. So you got to run right down that midline. And you'll hear me harp on that. So let's go ahead and I want to get down to the nitty gritty in this film of this presentation and get right to the game film. So that's what we're going to go ahead and do here. All right. So we're going to kind of follow the same procedure for all of this film here. I'm going to let it run, bring it back, and talk to you. Okay. So let's take a look at this thing here. All right. So, and we have if you notice here, this guy right here is going to be our trap guy. This 5 technique defender. Like I told you, we have the rule that we're going to trap the first guy head up or outside the guard. This defender here is in the play side defensive lineman there, defensive tackle. He is in a shade technique. All right, so that guy is not going to be our trap guy. You're going to end up saying the guard gap back on him. All right, and then we're going to release and trap this 5 technique. All right, so I'm going to play it kind of to the point of attack. Now, again, I paused it here. If you check out our fullback here, okay, if you check out his steps here, no wasted steps. He's stepping right down the midline. And I can't stress how important that is. So we're going to run this a little bit farther to the point of the trap block here. So you can see the trap block taking place here. You can see how we're getting guys downfield, creating this wall here. All right, and as I continue to play this, you can see it just creates a wide open run lane there. And a lot of these clips, I have an end zone copy as well. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to take a look at that also. So let me run this back here. And you'll be able to see exactly what I'm talking about here. All right. So no wasted steps by the fullback. The quarterback 180 pivots off his play side foot, giving that fullback the midline there. All right. And again, you see our play side guard here gapping back. It's not the greatest technique. His leverage is bad, and we'd like to see his helmet in front of that defender. But his assignment is correct. We're getting our play side tackle and wing back that you can see down here starting to create that wall of humanity. All right, we get a good trap block. And, this is a really, really great angle here. I mean, you can see this right now, that run lane being created with that wall of humanity and our trap block here. So we get a really nice alley there and a nice play out of it. And, listen, the kid playing our fullback that you're going to see in both years of these films, he's a big, strong kid, decent athlete. He's not running away from anybody, right? He's not like some kid that's going to take it 70 yards to the barn. He's just a good, strong, hard-nosed kid. And, we were able to get it done with him. All right, same game. So again, I'm going to let it run. We'll come back and talk about it. All right. So a little bit of a misexecution here with our wing back. And I don't know if it's because they're running backs or what, but We always got them struggling with blocking rules for whatever reason, but you can see we get the same thing here, right? This is going to end up being our trap guy because we get the play side defensive lineman in a shade technique. So we're actually going to get back with him. It's going to end up being a longer trap. Okay, again, we're running forward. Look at that. Look, I mean, again, I'm going to stress that this fullback step, there's no wasted step there. Okay, meaning he's not taking this big winding step and following this trap back here. I mean, he is running right down the center's ass. Okay, and what that's going to allow him to do is get through. And this, listen, this isn't the tightest lane that he's ever going to have to run through, but at the same point, it's giving him a lot of room to work with. And you can already see forming here again that nice wall of humanity. And our guard, he ends up coming out here to trap this outside linebacker because again, we have a miscue there with our wingback, but the other elements of this play are executed well. And again, we get a big play out of it. Okay, and you'll be able to see it again here from the end zone copy. Running slow-mo for you. You can just kind of see how that opens up. He not very good by that linebacker making a tackle there, but we get our big fullback out in space against those second level and third level defenders. That's what we want. Okay. I'm actually going to skip right to the end zone copy here. I don't know what's going on with that sideline copy there. This is a really, really, really good defensive football team. And they play a base 4-4 and they're all really good in their assignments. So we're trapping to the strength here. We've got a 3 technique defensive tackle here. So our trap guy is going to be here. So I'm just going to let this run through and then we'll talk about it. All right, let's run that back. So again, here's our trap guy. Can't really see him, but he's underneath that referee and that strong side back or that strong side inside backer there. Again, what you're going to notice all these guys release, right? This play side guard's going to get all the way down to this linebacker. And again, what you'll notice is that fullback taking no wasted steps, and he's going to step right down the midline for us. All right. So as I just want to wind this back slow. Again, this is a very good defensive football team from 2 years ago, and they were again this year. You're talking about 2 years ago, they were semifinalists, and this past year they lost by 3 points in the state title game. So they're a really good football team. So we get our center blocking back. You can see here, this is our play. This is our backside guard coming to trap. This is our play side guard coming, releasing on a backer, play side tackle, releasing down on a backer, tight end releasing on a backer, and wing back should be releasing on a backer or a second level defender. Okay, so as we play it slow, you can kind of see here, bam, how that works. And again, you can see this is a narrow run lane here, but that fullback does a nice job being able to stay down the midline, and he's able to get right through that alley for a nice first down run. Okay, same game here. I'll let it run through. We'll come back and talk about it. Okay, so not a game-breaking run. That you'll see that this defensive end does a really nice job. Just squeezing down the line of scrimmage. I mean, this kid right here does a really nice job of this. So again, we're trapping this 3 technique here. And what we should get is all of these guys releasing downfield. So let's go ahead and run it slow. You can see our center gets and this defensive lineman that he is blocking back on is an absolute monster. And you can see here, I want to pause it right here. Okay. You can see our play side guard now. His technique was really good. All right. You can see that. Look at his step there. I mean, look at his body. Look at where this is not like a flat pull. He is working into the line of scrimmage. If he does not do that, this play is dead in the water. Okay. So as I begin to run this through here, the next thing I want to point out is again that fullback's path. Look at the margin for error here, right? There is not a lot of room for error right here. I mean, that's about how big his alley is to run through there. And because of his path is so tight and our execution on that is really good, he's able to to get through that. Now, again, this kid makes a really outstanding defensive play. But again, you can see where we're starting to create this wall of humanity. And we coach our fullback up to find that wall of humanity, bend it back, and get upfield. And this is just the end zone shot. I'll probably just let this run through here. Okay. All right, different game here. This again, another stellar defense. This team 2 years ago again was a state finalist. They lost in the state title game. So really, really good athletic defensive football team here. So I'm gonna let this run through. We'll bring it back and talk about it. Okay, so a couple things here. Really physical run, gets the sideline pumped up, but we are gonna end up trapping this 3 technique. So this is gonna end up being our trap guy here. A couple things happen on this play. All right. So let's kind of play it forward and we'll talk about it as it goes. Again, notice the fullback stepping right down the midline. I also want you to notice our backside guard, again, working into the line of scrimmage, right? So like if we went back, we drew a line where the line of scrimmage is at. Okay, so we draw a line right here where the line of scrimmage is. All right, and then you imagine that line as we play this forward. He is working into the line of scrimmage. Now, we made contact with the trap guy, and that is a big no-no. I cannot stand that. All right, we do not want to touch the trap guy at all. Don't even sneeze his way, right? We want him coming across the line of scrimmage. But either way, we end up getting, even though it was good contact that we made with him, and we got some movement. So, and this guard does a really nice job. Kind of the next level there is if there's nobody shows the trap, you just kind of keep folding up inside there, and you now become a lead blocker essentially. But you can see how we're getting a wall of humanity. Now, the only thing I would say about our fullback here, and again, he does a nice job exploding through here and getting what he can get, but I think he really missed out on an even bigger run. And you can see this wall of humanity here, right? Like if he does what we talk about and he gets that thing down the midline, finds that wall of humanity, and then gets upfield out here, we're probably talking about more like a 20-25 yard run as opposed to an 8-9 yard run. So if we show this from the end zone copy, you can see from the end zone copy what our fullback saw. He just saw open grass and took it. So you can never really complain about that. But at the same time, running this through here again, you can see staying down the midline. You can see what he's looking at right here, right? Obviously, he just sees this right here and takes it. But if he ends up having the patience to kind of wind this thing back against the wall of humanity and then get upfield, he's going to end up with a much bigger run. Again, hard physical run, gets the sideline pumped. That's kind of the mentality behind this play, guys, is it is a hard-nosed physical style run. Like this is a mentality setter. This is what we're coming into this game to do. Sorry, I got a sip of coffee there. So, okay. Different game here. Let's let this run through and talk about it. All right. So this 4-eye is an odd front defense. So this 4-eye here is going to end up being our trap guy. We'll run it forward a little bit. Again, notice this fullback step. This isn't actually the greatest step. It's not terrible, but no wasted step here. He steps a little wide for my taste. But again, he ends up fixing his path, right? So we get a nice, this nose guard slants the opposite way. That's why we're trapping weak, right? He was slanting to the strength. So our center, really great kid, does a nice job gapping back. Our original rule there was going to be post lead, but that nose guard disappeared, so that our play side guard does an excellent job just continuing on his path. And I mean, look at this. This is excellent. He gets down onto that inside linebacker. They were stunning. If you notice, they were stunning both of their outside linebackers. And because we hit this play and break the line of scrimmage quickly, the only person left is the safety, and he does a nice job making an open field tackle. but you can see how we get a productive football play from it. And we'll let this run from the end zone copy again. Some of my later films, I will not have an end zone copy for you. We had a lot of trouble with our end zone copy this year, but I want to see, this is a great shot of the pulling guard here. Look at his leverage. Not a very good job out of defensive lineman, but that's okay, right? And you can see this defensive lineman is attempting to squeeze, and he's probably 30 to 40 pounds bigger than our kid. He's squeezing in there, but again, he works into the line of scrimmage. I'd like to see his helmet more on the other side, but that's okay. That's not bad. What I love is his contact, his feet movement, and his leverage there, right? Like he really gives it to that kid. And I'll be honest with you, that right guard there played linebacker for us as well. He was our best football player that year, 2 years ago. But you can see how we get a nice lane there, and our fullback's able to hit it. All right, so another game here. We'll let this run through, come back and talk about it. Okay. I think this is a great example of, again, that we're getting a 6-2 front here. And really, it ends up being more like a 6-3 as they're walking their safety up, playing 0 man on our wing. But I think this is a great example of if you can hit this thing tight and quick and fast, all of these guys on the line of scrimmage ended up becoming null and void, right? Because if we run by him, it's like two ships passing in the night. So this guy right here is going to end up, this is a head up 2 technique. He's going to end up being our trap guy. So, I mean, again, I cannot keep harping on enough our fullback's steps there. It's quick. It's right down the midline. There's no wasted steps there, right? So he runs. You can start to see our trap block develop there. As we play this forward a little bit more, you can see all of our releasing defenders staying tight to one another and creating that wall of humanity. You can also now see in our fullback, he did a nice job staying down the midline, finding the wall of humanity, and now getting upfield. We get an end zone copy shot of this. All right, again, you're going to notice that this guy is going to be our trap guy, right? That's head up 2 technique according to our rules. So let's play this slowly through. Center comes all the way back on the other 2 technique. He blocks down. All right, you can see our tackle there check pulling. You can see this play side guard getting all the way down to this linebacker. You can see the tackle getting down to this backer. You can see the wing coming down, right? So we get a trap block here again, and here is our lane. So staying on that midline, again, not a lot of margin for error, but we do a nice job of it. We execute it, we get down, all right, and we fold it back across that wall of humanity, and we get a good football play out of it. All right, same deal. We'll let this run, come back and talk about it. And we get away with a little bit of a lean there. This was a 4th down play. All right, so I believe this was 4th and 2, 4th and 3. All right, so we've got an odd front defense here, 52 defense. So this is going to be our trap guy here, right? First guy head up or outside the guard. So as we start to play this through, again, we get away with a little bit of a lean, but I'll pause it right there. I mean, look at his step there. And again, no wasted step. This play isn't like some grand scheme. We're just like, this was the most creative play in the world to beat people, right? Like the scheme, the success behind this play isn't the scheme, it's the execution in which you're able to do it. You can see here, I think this is a great shot. You see number 52 here, that's our backside tackle. You can see his technique of check blocking. So he is literally pulling behind this backside guard, and he's going to try to cut off any body trying to get in that guy's hip pocket. So as we play this even slower, he does. I mean, look at this backside tackle. That's an excellent job getting there. He actually even is able to flip his hips. So now we even get another more of an alley there. Okay, you can see our guard's trap block here, right? right here. Here is our guard trap block. And as we play this, he gets his head on the right side, if you notice that as well. And again, you can see our wall of humanity being created right here. And our fullback stays nice and tight to it. A great shot of this is this kid doesn't even know where the football's at yet. So we stay nice and tight to that thing. We get a really, really explosive first down run out of it. End zone shot here. So we'll kind of play it back slow. Get a mixed stunt there. We'll just do a real, I mean, again, that is a tight margin for error there. Everybody does a quick job, really executes their technique well. We get a good, really good, I mean, this is a really good double team or post lead block by our center and play side guard. You can see our trap block happening here with his head positioning in the correct place. And then our fullback staying tight down to the midline, finding that wall of humanity and getting upfield. It's a great shot there. All right, let's let this run through. Okay. So they are playing a real tight front here. Okay, you're getting almost a damn bear front. Okay, they are you want to call them three techniques. I would call it a 0 and 2 twos. All right, but it is an odd front defense. Okay, and this is going to be our trap guy. They outweighed us in here big time. Okay, but again, you'll be able to see how our technique really plays a big part into this. So as I play this forward, all right, we probably should have got a post lead block here, but our center, I mean, he is a really, I mean, you're talking about that kid was about 165, 170 pounds. If he was 100 pounds bigger, he would have been a Division I center. But you see our play side guard getting down, our tackle getting down, our wing getting down. And you can see our backside guard here hitting a really nice trap block, really good leverage. Okay, it gets his head in good positioning, and again, you can see our fullback staying tight to this and being able to squeeze through that run lane there, right? And he's able to find that wall of humanity, get upfield, and again, we get our big fullback one-on-one with a safety who makes a pretty good open field tackle. Okay, end zone shot here. I mean, and you can see what I'm talking about with the defensive tackle alignment. They're like head up twos there. I mean, this is tight business in there, man. This is all about execution. And so this is kind of what I mean, right? Like I can sit here and say, yes, guard traps are staple run and you know, everybody knows that, right? Like this YouTube video wouldn't surprise any of the coaches that I coach against. They know it, whatever. This is what we run, right? This is not like you're not running guard trap because you're trying to out scheme people. This is about the execution of the football play because you have a 0 technique nose and you have a 2 technique defensive lineman here. By all intents and purposes, they are running this front to stop our guard trap. And because we have much better execution than them, they don't. All right, we still get a really good football play out of it. All right, and you can kind of see him pop through there. It's a nice job. That's also a really good shot there of our guard trap block right here. And again, our wall of humanity being created right here. All right, let's let this run through here. All right, kind of again, you know, I'm going to come back and talk to you about this defensive lineman here. I mean, you can look at how they have aligned their backers, right? You got like a 53 defense here, and you've got their defensive tackles playing 4-eye techniques, and at least the guys who the weak side is this kid might be a head up 4. It's hard to tell from the sideline angle, but my whole point is look at their outside backers, man. Like they're sitting right there inside of those guys. They are lining up saying we got to stop guard trap. Okay, so This kid's going to end up being our trap guy. All right, so we'll let this run through here. Bam, I'm going to stop it right on the fullback step. Again, check this kid's step right here. All right, he's coming straight down the midline. All right, so as he's coming, here's our trap block here. I mean, look at this, no margin for error. If we did not get a very good check block on this kid, right? He almost chases this down from the backside, but because it's so quick and hits so fast down there, down the midline, we don't. We get a good gap block from our center. We get a good trap look at where our head positioning is with our guard, right? That's what we want. This guy comes way too far upfield. And you can start to see this is not the greatest block on a backer. He lets that guy slide inside of him. But you can start to see our wall of humanity being created here. And we're getting that alley started right here. Okay. So we get our guy coming through there. And again, another really nice first down run play. And we'll just let this run from the end zone copy. All right, so I'll pause right here just to kind of give you an update. So you can tell our helmet colors are different, right? That's because this is a whole nother year forward. So I think this is important to talk about in the scope and lens of this video. So this was last year, right? We lost 9 guys on our starting offense, right? We did return our fullback, and our receiver from the year prior is playing quarterback. Other than that, everybody on this offense right now is a brand new starter. All of these kids up front, and we return all of them up front this year, which I'm really excited about. But they're all underclassmen and they're all new. This is game 2, right? So this is still early on in the year. But you'll be able to kind of see how they are able to progress throughout the year and get much better at running this football play. All right, so this is gonna you know what, I almost broke my own logistics there. Let's let this run through, and we'll bring it back and talk about it. I don't know why the game film is at 1.5 speed. Something with our camera. We need a new camera. But I mean, you could kind of see that there. Right. So let's go ahead and talk about it. So we're trapping this kid right here. Right. He was really over aggressive. So when they put him down on the line of scrimmage, we were looking to trap him. So as we let this run forward again, full back step, it is straight down the midline. Okay, I don't like how the quarterback does not get his body turned 180 degrees, but you can also see where this guard here, who's a sophomore, is trying to work into the line of scrimmage. You can see where this left tackle here is pulling behind him, trying to cut off anything chasing him, right? So as again, we let this kind of continue to develop. We should have got a post lead block there. Our center does a nice job in a one-on-one situation, though. We get our guard, our tackle. Our tackle should be looking inside here. I don't like what he's doing here. He's turning, but see, again, a young, inexperienced line. They're more concerned about who they're blocking than the path that they're blocking on. But as we continue to say, I don't like this at all. This play side tackle just needs to keep trucking down this path and collect anybody there, right? Our tight end, we just thankfully the fullback runs by that guy, but he does keep coming down, and we get a 17 or 18 yard first down run play. All right, here's the end zone shot of it. We're running slow. And you see how tight we stay down that midline, man. That is so crucial to this play. All right, let's let it run. And this was the same defense I told you about. That was a semifinalist 2 years ago. They lost by 3 points in the state title game this past year, and their defense was the main reason why they were so good. Again, they're playing at 4-4, and they are. We're going to end up trapping this 3 technique out here. This ends up not being a very good football play, and we don't get very good down blocks here, and that's kind of why I wanted to sneak this in here. But you can still see how, again, our left guard's working into the line of scrimmage there. That's a good. I don't like his leverage. His leverage is bad, right? But his head positioning is in the right place. Our center blocks back like he should on that shade. We don't, right? Like our tackle, right? This guy right here, we shouldn't be blocking anybody past the guard. So our right tackle here is wrong. He needs to get off of that guy, release. And again, this is the third game of the year, but he needs to release down here, and we need to get bodies on these second level guys. And we don't. This linebacker does a great job pressing and getting inside of our guys, trying to come down and block on him and making a play there, right? So you can see how all this technique is important on this. All right, so this is one where our fullback actually kind of backdoors this. And the reason I have this in here is if he stays tight to this, it almost gives him a two-way go, especially if you're playing a center, or excuse me, a nose guard, a zero technique nose guard that kind of slants where you're trapping, right? You can kind of see that's what's taking place. So let me run this and we'll come back and talk about it. He fumbles the football here. Didn't make me very happy, but it's still a good football play. So, all right, so we should be trapping this guy here, right? And all right, so our center, really we should be getting a post lead block there as well. But our guard gets down here to the linebacker, but this center kind of, or excuse me, the nose guard kind of blows this play up because of how he slants, or at least blows the area up that we want to go to, right? Like you can see the guard here coming down the trap. And what ends up happening is, though, is because we get and this is kind of how this works, right? So we get a check block right here, right? You can see that now that's not great technique, but you can see how this tackle here, he ends up getting inside leverage on this backside 4i, and he's able to turn him inside and stop that penetration. And because of that, and because our fullback stays down the midline, this ends up being hitting it in the back door is what I call it. And sometimes this is how it works out. He gets down in here, that nose guard slants and blows up the intended point of attack. But because the backside blocks are executed well, and because his path is executed well, he's just able to backdoor this thing, right, and get out over here. Again, another huge reason why it's so incredibly important to run that path correctly. All right, so let's play this and we'll come back and talk about it. So, and this play here is a 3rd and 30. And I can tell you guys here, we ended up beating them, but at this point in the game, we were beating a team, honestly, we had no business beating. But so my mindset here, we had a couple penalties in a row calling this play. I'm like, you know what? We're on the plus 46-yard line there. Let's just get what we can get out of our inside trap play here. Punt the ball, pin them deep. But when you execute and you get your fullback in space, your best player in space, able to go to work, you never know what's going to happen. So when we let this run through here, again, the fullback, or excuse me, the nose guard slants to the strength. So our center does a really nice job getting on him and turning his hips. All right. And you can see all of our guys starting to come down here and release. We get in our backside trap here. And if you run it here, right, you see he does a really nice job of look at his head positioning here. Right. So his head positioning here is upfield. Now the defensive lineman helps him out by coming too far upfield. But against us, he's only about 2 yards upfield, but that's too far against us when we're running this play. So he's able to get inside there. You can see the wall of humanity beginning to form, right? And our fullback does a nice job riding that wall, getting upfield, and then he just makes plays when he's out there in the open field. He's a hard kid to bring down. Okay. Again, another odd front defense here. So let's let this run through and we'll talk about it. All right, so this play again, not very well executed in some of our elements here. We make too much contact with the trap guy, but we are trapping over here, right? So this is going to end up being our trap guy. Okay, we got an odd front defense here. We got a zero technique nose. He might even be a little shaded there. So we let this player run forward, and I'm going to stop it. We get a really good post lead block here, double team here. I don't like what our tackle's doing. He needs to, this is bad. He needs to get off this guy. Don't touch him. Don't look at him. Get down and get on a backer. What makes this play is, okay, you can see I don't like how far away our guard is here. He's too flat, right? So if he had to trap somebody, right? If you use this yard line as a reference, he has not worked into the line of scrimmage at all, right? He needs to work into the line of scrimmage and dig them out is what we call it. The tackle here makes too much contact on the trap guy, but he is getting on his near backer. What makes this play, this post lead block, this double team, this guy gets run all the way into the linebacker here. That is what makes this play a somewhat successful football play here. So as we continue to do this, right, and this is a bad check block, but our fullback stays tight, and then we're able to get a good football play out of it. A decent little run there. Again, another odd front defense, really tightly compact in there. You'll notice that we are in the I formation here, right? So again, this play is not just subject to being in the wing T offense. We are going to be trapping over, or you know what? Again, here I go, getting too far ahead of myself. Let's let this run. Bad film quality there. But you can see here through the whatever is going on with the film there, right? We're going to be trapping this guy right here. And so even out of the I formation, right? If I play this slowly, look at that first step. Look at this first step of the fullback, straight downhill. Straight downhill. Okay. And as I play this, I know the film quality is awful right here. But look at what we're getting right here. Okay. This is what we want to see. All these guys blocking down, our fullback staying tight to it, and then getting upfield. Okay. I believe we have an end zone shot of this. All right, you'll be able to see this a little bit better on the end zone shot. All right, so let's play it slow from the end zone copy here. All right, we should have got a double here. All right, we should have got a post lead block here. So we did not execute their assignment. And look, guys, you'll notice, again, very young offensive line. All of them knew there were some growing pains this year, but they really did get better as the year went on. Okay, but again, you can see how that, you can see what is supposed to be our trap block here. The head's in front. You can begin to see our wall of humanity hitting, and it is fast from our fullback. Again, no wasted steps. You're going to get down the midline, no wasted steps. You're going to get down it fast. That's the only way this play is going to be successful, right? And so we end up with a huge run. All right, let's let this run through. Oh, this is one of my favorite runs of the year. Did you see how patient that fullback was there? So if we bring this back, all right, it's a nice job up front too, right? So we're trapping down here to the weak side again, right? So this guy's going to end up being our trap guy, right? So as we let this run here, I would have liked to have seen our guard stay a little lower, but I want you to notice his path, right? Because I wouldn't say his footwork's great, but the path that he's staying on, he knows, because we have drilled it. He has got to stay tight, and he's got to work inside out. So that's what he does, and he fights to get head. Look at that. He fought there at the last minute to get the right head positioning. Okay, and Another thing I'll have you notice is our tackles check block here. He makes sure that he gets his head inside and stops any penetration and kind of gets hip to hip there with our center. And again, you can see here with our releasing play side guard and play side tackle right here. All right. What I love about this play is because everything is so compact in there and we don't get good initial movement. Look at our fullback. He kind of stutter steps, right? He's patient. Look how low this kid is, man. I mean, that is excellent. And he's a big kid, right? So he gets down in there. He finds that hole. He knows where it's supposed to hit. Really savvy kid at this point, his senior year, and he gets through there. Right? Ends up being a big run play. He didn't panic there. He knew where he was supposed to hit this play, and he does. And we'll just kind of let the end zone copy of this run. Really patient, bam, finds it open up, and you can kind of run that back and look where that thing opens up, right? Bam. That's the alley we're looking for. All right, and he was just really patient in finding that alley. But again, you can see our wall of humanity here, right? And our trap block here. And again, we get an explosive run play out of it. It's a big play here, touchdown run. All right. So we come back here. All right, and this ends up being a 32-yard touchdown run. So we are again trapping to the weak side here. I mean, just notice here how many people they have around the line of scrimmage, right? So this is why I keep saying this is like I'm not cracking the atom here, right? Everybody knows we're going to try to come in and we're going to run guard trap. We know it, they know it, and for us to be able to run it, we have to execute. Okay, so as we play this deal here, okay, here is our trap guy right here, right? All right, and you can see again our fullback steps coming right down the midline. I don't like how our play side tackle here blocks out. I understand why he did it. He's looking for that backer. Here's the backer. He knew that backer was stunning. I would have rather him just kept trucking downfield. But you know what? He gets a body on a body. We get those second level defenders blocked, and that's what's important. You can see our another thing I want to come back here and talk about on this one particularly, our play side guard, right here. He does a nice job helping out on that post lead, and then he works off of the post lead, the double, and he then gets to the Mike backer here working downfield. So, you know what? And we get that thing, that safety. We were able to bring that safety down in that rocket motion, and that's what opened that middle of the field up for our fullback to be able to take it, the extra yardage. All right, so we'll let this run through. Again, we're trapping weak here. All right, it's the same deal. So you can see how tight they are in here trying to stop guard trap. All right, here's our trap block taking place here. All right, we're getting a check block right here, right? That backside block that I've told you is important. This actually isn't a bad job here, right? He's able to get in there and get his hips flipped and stops that. I mean, and I'll talk about that for a second, right? Like you can see that guy is trying to slant inside there and chase that guard. We do a nice job getting inside there, flipping our hips and stopping that from happening. All right, and we get our lineman running downfield, creating that wall. Big run here. Okay. So let's take this back. All right. So as we let this run, again, look at this fullback step. No wasted step coming right down there, right down the midline. All right. As we continue to run this through, we're getting our trap block here. And this was this kid's first start at guard. We had one of our starting players out this game. So he made his first start here at guard. So that's not a bad job working for the correct head positioning. We're getting our releasing lineman downfield over here, creating that wall of humanity. All right. And then our best player was our best player, made a guy miss, and we get an explosive run out of it. I mean, that's kind of what you want, right? Like when you get that fullback, as soon as he gets to the second level, man, the rest is kind of on him. You know, once he gets to that point, how explosive that run becomes is kind of on that player. All right, so let's let this run through here. All right, so this is actually not a very well executed play here. All right. This we kind of catch them misaligned here. But they've got a shade technique. Then there's no interior defensive lineman on this side. But what you would like to see happen is, well, number one, we shouldn't be blocking anybody on the line of scrimmage. Our guys probably get confused because that's a linebacker. So we probably just need to let that guy go. And what we say is, don't get caught up in who you're trapping, right? Like if they're blitzing a linebacker and he's the first man past the guard, that is now the trap guy. That's who we're going to trap, right? So don't get caught up in the positioning of it. So, but we get a real good gap block by our play side guard here. Right, he does a nice job. I like to see him get his head across the body there, but he gets a real nice movement there coming off the ball. And that's really what springs this thing, along with the fullback stand downhill. All right, guys. Oh, got some crazy things happening there with my camera. Well, listen, this is I'm Brad Ellingsworth. This is my YouTube channel, Coach E. It's devoted to all things simple, or devoted to all things football, playing it simple and fast. If at any point in time you like this video, please hit the subscribe button, like, and drop a comment. Thanks, guys.